People deluded. Arsenal won, Manchester United won, Manchester United won, Arsenal won. And what's that going to technically be 14 years since we've won away from home, people? I've literally just got in, I've seen the game, I'm going to watch it again, but I'm all sure you've seen what's happened. So we might as well dissect it, or I might as well dissect it from my point of view. Going into the game, we knew what was going on with United, people. We knew. I told you lot in my reviews and previews and all of these sort of things, forget Man United's form. It's a different thing when we play United. Yes, when they've won, arguably it's been shaky and they've needed individual brilliance similar to us, or there's been times where Rashford has scored penalties and they've been playing appallingly. By Man United standards, just damn right a team that's in the top six. Man United fans will agree there's a lot of several things wrong with United, similar to a degree at Arsenal. I say to a degree, I'm trying to, obviously that's a bit of bias, but obviously they've not been in the better form. People, again, we've been here before. Personally, I've seen worse United sides, particularly under Van Gaal, beat us and do things. So I was wary of this game. But obviously, as an Arsenal fan or just a football fan in general, if you was betting on this game, I would say you would have betted on United to win this. But you could see reasons as to people taking a punt on Arsenal winning. United's form's been bad. Ours has been shaky. They can't keep a clean sheet. We can't either. But you see what I'm saying? Their away form is poor, but they're better at home. But either way, they've been beaten at home and outplayed by a couple of teams at home. So for Arsenal, it presented an opportunity to take advantage of United in a week period of time where there's question marks over the players and over the manager's future. And obviously for us, it's a big credentials, people, because at the end of the day, we've got Anfield in the cup now. We went to Liverpool in the league. Nobody expected us to win. You can look at that performance. Spurs, we should have won. They could have won. We can harp at it, but it was a top six game we failed to win. So this presented another opportunity to take in full points off a top six rival. More so Man United, because you'd think now it's us, Chelsea and United in it, and Spurs to a degree for third and fourth. If you really push it, you could say it's Arsenal and United purely for fourth. So this is almost a double point off for more reasons on top of just being a top six clash. Obviously the rivalry's there, two relative falling giants. Obviously United's success and our success is different. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I've got United friends. I'll give it all the bants. They won the war in terms of between the two sides, but we gave them some stressful nights. I'm sure at a period Wenger actually had a better head-to-head count against Fergie. We gave United some poor moments in terms of football, but they won the war and they stressed us out. Going into the game, people, I'm not going to lie, first 10 minutes, I feel both teams were feeling each other out. I think Man United were better than us. I was getting concerned. I think Callum Chambers had a good game, but I feel Daniel James was very proactive in taking him on, and obviously his skill set. I know he's done his thing for Southampton, at fullback, but you wouldn't have him as a fullback, and he's essentially playing like a wing back, so he is going to be awkward in some situations. So obviously we're seeing him getting down the sides of us. I think we gave them way too much space. I feel they won the midfield battle. I feel Torreira and Guendouzi and Xhaka tried, but I feel they just won the midfield battle. I think many people banter McTominay and that, but I think he had a good game. And if I was a United fan, him and Daniel James get what the hell it means to be at United. So I think he played well. I feel Pogba, if people had their finishing boots on, Pogba could have got a couple of assists. I want to say Pogba played amazing, but I definitely think Pogba played well today. And I think he's not someone you can scapegoat. I feel they won that sort of battle. I feel they had the better chances. And just from the opening stages, you would have thought United had the more comfortable start to the side. They owed it to their fans. They had to start positive. You knew what we was going to get with United. The fans are going to be up for this. It's a rivalry. A lot of the fans, we're football fans. There's no way. I was at work watching this game, people. People went to that game. You saw the rain in England, if you're not from here, peeing it down. There's no way fans of both teams are not going to go there and not be up for it, because they're paying how much money and kind of shaking themselves, because some people got to drive home and be at work at stupid o'clock to get it. So we knew United fans will be supporting them and that, and they had opportunities. And Andreas Pereira had 1-2 chances in the first half. I feel they won the first 10-minute battle, people. I feel they were getting forward. I feel their counter-attacks kind of scared us, people. There was a couple of times it was nervy defending. Throughout the whole game, you saw Leno make a number of big saves. I feel the midfield, it just looked like a mixed match. I know many people, obviously Ozil didn't travel, Tierney wasn't there, if I haven't mentioned that already. I know many people will look at that midfield three, and Guendouzi's been doing his thing. Torreira's clearly being played out of position. Xhaka's a defense, playing as our DM essentially, and Torreira's our attacking mid. He's doing that Ramsey thing. It's just square pegs in round holes. Many people will look at that and say it's three DMs or three people whose skill set is not necessarily in terms of breaking the lines. Personally, I feel, regardless of what you feel about Xhaka, he can play that pass at times. I feel Guendouzi shows a skill set, and I wouldn't have that down as Torreira's strengths, but he can do it. I definitely think all three have more to show in an offensive state. Maybe that comes down to coaching. But we all know they're not cams. Obviously, we would have liked to have seen a Ceballos. I would have thought Ozil would have been on the bench, especially because the game in the second half, we could have. You surely can get 30 minutes out of Ozil, and it is kind of baffling what's going on now. It seems to be more the same from last season. He's named as captain, but he's hardly playing, and when he does play, he's taking off. What's going on in that regard? But I just think it's an intention thing, people. I feel if we was coached to really play forward, I really don't think it would be a thing. Obviously, I would have liked to have seen Ceballos start, maybe a Joe Willock in the number 10 role potentially, or just someone who's trying to break the lines or make that run. I get it, people, but I feel there's not necessarily anything wrong with it, but I feel it's more the intention of what Emery is telling them for me personally to go out there and do, because it's just a mixed match. Xhaka is playing as a DM. He seemed to be uncomfortable at times in the game. Torreira's square pegging round holes. His skill set is, I do think he can press and he can do box to box, but he's essentially playing as the number 10, the creative midfielder. That's not him. I know in his youth he played further forward if you read up about him and that, but that's not him now. Xhaka's doing his own thing, Torreira's actually doing his own thing, and so is Guendouzi. And that's not a criticism on any three necessarily. It just felt like we lost that battle. We really lost the opening stages, people. I feel the only time I feel it as well, I know Aubameyang scored today and I feel he worked his socks off, but it became evident that clearly away from home, Lacazette and Aubameyang have to play, or someone with more of a focal point. Because Aubameyang quickly, I rate him because he started to clock now, okay, cool, we're playing United. Well, the balls aren't going to come over the top. And to be fair, Leno, there was one moment, Leno just tried it, people, because the playing out from the back was a bit nervy at times. Leno banged it over the top, people. And it's just Aubameyang by himself, and he's playing Maguire, who's fairly decent in the air. He's been shaky at moments, and he's got a big-ass head as well, people, so he's averaging it. But on a more serious note, no disrespect to Maguire, he's outnumbered. Aubameyang's outnumbered, so he was going on the flanks, and you saw him linking up very well with Saka. I don't need to listen. Saka makes me want to eat jollof rice right now, and my African subscribers and stuff, someone send that to my house, man. Ghanaians, I know you lot doing madness with that. Saka is ripping it. I feel the only criticism I can have of Saka is stop looking at the ref, stop snitching to the ref, because the ref ain't going to give us something. You saw with the VAR in the second half, forget the ref. But he's gliding past players. Daniel James is playing well as well. He's taking people on, but he's doing his thing. Saka is the only real outlet. Leno's making good saves. I feel Luiz grew into the game. I feel Guendouzi had a good performance, but is Saka really and truly? Saka stood up to be counted, and big up Saka off topic, people, because at the end of the day, young players, for as much as I talk about they need to develop and be given time, and they all need to develop at different rates, people. Just because Saka is banging doesn't mean Nelson should be doing the same, for example. He should be doing better, but everyone's development is different. But as much as I bang on about that, when you get chances, you have to take them, and every game he's played, he has taken his chances, and he, at 18 years of age, Old Trafford, a place Arsenal have not played well, all the macro and micro problems with our form, and especially highlighted away form. Saka done his thing today. Forget age, he did his thing today, was fearless today. I really liked him, and he looked like he's going to make something happen. Not going to lie, I think Pepe will come good, people, but Pepe was terrible today. I feel really we failed to create anything really and test De Gea significantly. I feel our set piece taken today, I don't know what was on, whether in the second half with Nelson or just the short ones, they just weren't banging, people. It weren't banging. I did feel there was a stage where I think Lindelof or somebody slipped and Saka raced on, and he should have done much better. For all as good as he played, he should have done much better. But that little chance gave us a little momentum, because there was a little 15-minute period, well, 10-minute period or so, people, and before McTominay scored, forgive me if I'm wrong, where Arsenal were playing a bit better. We were kind of being having a go at United, and they were a bit nervous at times and stuff. I feel United dominated the game in the first half in general, and it was just us trying to remain compact. And again, at our Old Trafford pitch, you cannot really be timid. It's a big pitch, and on top of our form and how we play, they deserve their goal. They were giving us warnings on the counter-attack. How many times was we at 6s and 7s? The goal, forgive me if I'm wrong, came from our corner, people. It's our own corner. We're at 6s and 7s. Credit Guendouzi and all of these players, but if you look at them, certain players that are midfielders are at right back. Certain things are going on. It's just complete madness, people. United, obviously, McTominay, it's a good effort, people. I feel McTominay deserved his goal, man. He deserved it. He had a good game. yeah, he might not be the most glamorous of players, and he probably wouldn't be in most Man United fans' lineup in an ideal United if they had their squad the way it is. But at the end of the day, I like him because you like players at your club that get it. He effing gets it, people. And I think he's not that bad technically. He had a good game. He was snapping at the heels. He was doing all that stuff that in the match I hate it because he's the opposition. But he had a good game. He deserved his goal. They deserve to go ahead, people, and we need to wake up. We need to show something offensively. I feel the players need to look at themselves, and they talk about these moments and what they need to do in games like this. They need to wake up. But for me, I can't lie. I'm looking at the game plan, people. I'm seeing players shoehorned into several different things. Not really seeing any game plan in terms of how we plan to exploit United. Don't get me wrong. If you offered both sets of fans and whatever and players a draw and managers, they would have taken it, but it just felt we had a real defeative attitude. And again, I'm not saying go out against Manchester United and have a gun-ho approach. Arsenal for years under Wenger did that, and hell, we lost 8-2 there, people. But a bit of both, man. Like, a bit of both. Recognise their threats, but I just don't feel we had, just on top of not doing it anyways, I don't feel we had real intent to try and hurt them. And especially considering their form and potential areas of weaknesses in their backline, I felt we kind of played into United's hands. That being said, I'm sure United fans will agree it wasn't the most perfect of games. I feel Teixeira had a good game. I mean, Pepe was poor, but he locked him down. I'm just trying to find my notes, people. As I was at work. I'm just trying to make sure I don't do you lot of discredit and forget anything. No, that's my player ratings. No wonder it's not there. Apologies, people. No wonder it's not there. I'm looking at my notes when I DM'd myself and whatnot. But yeah, just to make sure I'm not missing out. And like I thought early on, it became clear there's going to be a lot of space in the midfield, central areas, and actually behind Spurs, United's fullbacks, and I feel ours. I feel our crossing, like I have to highlight our crossing and set piece delivery again. There was one time Luis did very well in the first half. I swear it was like 3 crosses came into their box. Sorry, people, we just didn't take advantage. We just. Like I said, I get that we clearly in training went there to remain compact and we had some sort of game plan, but offensively it doesn't look like we're playing to our potential offensively. It don't really look like there's patterns of play with us. It don't really look like there's everybody's on the same radar. And you know when man, like we all kicked ball, people, let's be honest. You lot watch me, cause I know you kicked ball. You know when you're playing at the cages or whatever, or Sunday league, and you're good friends with your boy, and you know the sort of pass he's gonna make, or you know he knows the run you're on making, so he does that. I'm not really seeing all of that in Arsenal's team right now, and it's kind of paining me, people. It is kind of really killing me, people. Like, we went 1-0 down, and I thought it was going to be a case of us losing, people, because I'll be honest with you, we've conceded 25 goals there since 06. Had 8 defeats and whatnot is what the stats on Sky Sports said, and we just haven't played well at Old Trafford. I feel Rashford's getting into lovely bits of space. Aubameyang, like I've said, is getting into wide positions at times. I feel Chambers is doing what he can in the wing-back role, but again, he's showing he's not a right-back, and I don't feel he played poor. I have to highlight Torreira pressing was paining me, because even if it was a thing where, okay, Torreira, it's not your skill set, but you go press. I'm seeing a man press and he's by himself, he's looking around. I'm thinking, like, what's kind of going on here, people? Immediately when I saw the replay in the 19th minute, I did think Lingard should have got a yellow for his foul on Saka, and Saka did well to kind of relieve the pressure, and Saka's taking advantage of the spot that's been there at left wing, people, for him to take, man. Daniel James versus Chambers, I've already highlighted, is causing me issues. And Pepe's delivery in the 23rd minute was terrible. Well, like I said, it took us 13 minutes to wake up, 30 minutes to wake up. I feel bar the goal, we had a good final 10 to 15 if I'm looking at where Arsenal played best in that first half. McTominay's goal is disappointing as well from an Arsenal perspective, because again, it's on the edge of our area. I did think Xhaka ducked, but I've seen it again. I'm not too sure if he actually ducked. And even before it gets to that, again, we're at 6s. United have warned us at this point. We're at 6s and 7s. McTominay's shooting on the edge of our area. And there was a couple of times we were just backing off. I didn't necessarily want to blame the centre-halves, because at times I've been in a defensive position in grassroots. You have to back off. But I have to, again, almost stuff that I can't comprehend. I have to look at what we're doing in terms of tactics, because we're just backing off to Pereira's shoot. You can't back off against Pereira for all his criticisms United fans have. You can't back off against Pogba. McTominay showed it. You can't back off against players. And I was thinking, what is going on here? Like, when we went 1-0 down at half time, I'm livid, people, man. I feel certain players are playing well. It's one of them. I don't feel we're playing appalling, but it's just... It's the manner in which we're playing. It's like, man, are not trying to do this thing, really trying to win this and whatnot, and having a real goal, and we're playing into United's hands. Ollie must love this. Second half, I'll be honest, I think there was a positive change, people. We obviously looked to early on. I'm talking in the second half. We obviously got our goal in the second half with Aubameyang. Shout out to the referee and the linesman, sorry, for trying to jinnles us. Arsenal getting VAR. Arsenal VAR in our favour. With Sir Alex Ferguson watching his club or his former club in the stands. Just say it ain't so, man. I know Ferguson paid that linesman. It's all banter, but I was livid, people. I thought, nah, are you mad? Like, it's going to be one of them games where Arsenal lose and we're going to have to focus on this point. Aubameyang did well. Obviously, Saka deserves his assist. Aubameyang's worked his socks off. Two of our better players on the pitch. They've combined it to get us back in this game. I'm not going to lie, people. At this point, I'm thinking... United you're most vulnerable when you've just conceded. Arsenal have been there, we've scored and conceded straight after. Didn't we do that against Villa? But considering United's form, considering the mindset of both sets of players, United have just conceded. Are these players thinking it's the same thing again? Are they potentially getting flashbacks of previous games? I'm trying to harness this sort of stuff and kind of play with a bit of bravery towards what we kind of ended at a push towards the end of the first half, people. I don't really see that beyond us getting the equaliser. I felt there was a period, and I think statistically it's somewhere, we didn't take many shots after the 56th or so minute, and we settled for a draw beyond the game. But I felt both sets of players, and the managers respectively settled on a draw. They kind of realised, okay, I don't want to lose this, because there were points Arsenal, for as much as I feel United did all right, we should have scored a second, and United should have scored a second. There was plenty of counter-attacks, heart and mouth moments where Leno did well, and you're thinking, this is a game where someone gets jinnles, really. For all of this, someone is going to score in the end of the game, and I did think that was going to happen when United, I can't remember who took it, but United got a free kick towards the end of the game. I'd say if Rashford's decision-making was better, he could have scored and actually made a difference for United today. But I just don't feel it, man. I feel Saka played well, but let's stop harping on about him. Joe Willock showed more than certain midfielders within his little however minutes he got. Nelson, I love Nelson, but we're going to have to make another video about him. I believe in him, he's my guy, and I'm not changing on that. I think Nelson will become a decent player, and what decent player means is it doesn't mean necessarily Jadon Sancho or whatever. It could be a squad player. I think Nelson's a good player and he'll come good. But I feel his corners were appalling. I feel his decision making wasn't on, but he was by no means the worst player on that pitch. I feel he was quite positive, really, and he played better than Pepe, really, if I'm honest. Saka showed Pepe how to do this. I love Pepe. We've got to be patient, but he was quite mad today. I feel Xhaka was cumbersome and quite slow and whatnot, as usual. I feel Chambers did alright, put a couple crosses in, was given a busy time by Daniel James, but is what it is, man. We can live to fight another day. United will feel they probably should have won. Arsenal is, I feel we played with a defeated attitude. I'm not really critiquing the performance of such, because I'm not really livid like that. But we could have looked to have done more, and potentially if we done more, could we have got 3 points? So yeah, man, Saka did his thing today, and he's first name on the team sheet in terms of merit, man. Joe Willock needs to come in for Bournemouth. Saka deserves to start. For me, Saka, get the Thursday. I know he's young and he's good to go. He's played, Monday? He's good to go on Thursday, but let him take that off. For me, he's playing on the weekend. Willock's playing on the weekend and whatnot. But for us, I believe at 8 PM on Thursday, we play Standard Liège. United, I'm not sure on who you've got, but we've got Bournemouth and Standard Liège later on this week. So it's essentially 3 games in a week, 3 games on the spin. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It's time to show what we can. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. On the bright side, we've got a point. It could have been worse. I don't want to actually take that reflection. But we live to fight another day, and we have to get 3 points against Bournemouth. And again, to put ourselves in the best platform in the Europa League, regardless of what side goes out there, we should be winning. But in regards to my review, people, deluded, I'm out. I haven't got much more to add, man. Man United won, Arsenal won, then yeah, man, it is what it is at this moment, man. People, though, DG, I'm out.